Hi there, welcome back to a Monday edition of the Daily Fight. My name is ROBYN TANNER, and I want to talk to you today with a perspective on numbers. That the numbers lie, that we can manipulate the numbers to mean what we want, to say what we want, to give an illusion, an appearance of what we think our life is really like, or what we want people to think our life looks like behind the scenes, when in reality, they lie. And I think that we need to be measuring success a completely different way. For instance, this is my 22nd episode of the Daily Fight. That just means that this is the 22nd time that I have filmed. Actually, that's a lie in itself because I've probably done 100 in order to get 22. But I have sat down here and I have delivered for 22 times a podcast. I recorded it, I edited it, and then I put it up and I uploaded it onto the podcast channels 22 times. I don't think that's a big deal. I think that's me showing up. I think that's me practicing. I think that's me putting in the reps 22 times. I'm still going. I haven't stopped yet. Not sure when I'm going to, but I'm going to keep doing this for as long as it feels right and for as long as I have content and food for thought and working on my speaking skills and my storytelling. And I've got a long way to go, and I'm totally cool with that. That does not mean that I'm one of the top 1% podcasters out there yet. That's what the data and the numbers and the statistics say. And I think that is absolutely absurd that you can do something 21 times and then call yourself in the top 1%. That's crazy. Now, there's somebody else that could go with a perspective of, but you've sat down and done it 21 more times than the other person who is still talking about it and thinking about it or doesn't ever want to do it. So you should, revel in that 1%. I disagree. I think it's just a way to manipulate an appearance and give an illusion of what people think it looks like or what you want them to think it like kind of the glam of it all. And this is not glamorous at all. It's just showing up to do a job. It's no different than you that are listening to this right now. If you've showed up to your job 22 days, to get a paycheck, to get to an outcome, to get better, to get to the next rung on the ladder, climbing up that, professional development, does that make you in the top 1% of your field? I disagree with that. I think it's absolutely absurd. Take, for instance, becoming a best-selling author. This is something that I've wanted to do for most of my life. And then recently I have found that it's just a numbers game. It is a manipulation of your platform, of the different retail spaces that people can buy your book, when you sell it, when you release it, if you're launching it 6 months early and you're doing pre-sales. Like, it is a manipulation of the system. And I get it. The best man wins. Whoever can manipulate it and make those numbers work wins the prize. That's not how I want to be a best-selling author. So I guess I have to rework that. I want my books to matter. I want them to make impact. I want the readers to fall in love with them. I want to change lives because of my words, that I've reached somebody like down into their soul, into their heart. And that's got nothing to do with numbers. And it's got everything to do with the emotional and the mental and the spiritual impact that I've made because of my creative writing, because of my thought process, or the ways I put words together. Another instance is social media followers, right? Like, we know that more than 50%, or we think, because this is the data that is out there, that half of these influencers have paid for their audience. I have never done this, nor will I ever, because you want the people that are there to learn from you, to listen from you, because they like what you have to say, that they're challenged by it, that they're inspired by it, that they're motivated by it. Those are the numbers that matter. And when you buy followers, when you have that, 25,000, 500,000, 10,000, whatever it might be, but you only got 3 people showing up, that they're not engaged, that they're not impacted, that's not telling the real story. And I think that we really need to take, and I could go on and provide a bunch of different examples, but again, I would just be cherry picking like everybody else, the data and the statistics and the stories that I want to tell to prove my point. When in reality, I just want you to think differently about how you're measuring success. I come from the weight loss and the fitness and the health industry for 26, almost 27 years, where, you had to get on the scale, or you had to measure yourself, or you had to be a certain body fat percentage. And that I can tell you from the amount of physique shows, knows from the amount of people that I have trained, from the eating disorders that I have overcome, that I have helped people overcome, to making sure that your jeans fit and you don't have to lay down on the bed and suck it in to get them. No, I'm the only person that's ever done that. Like laid down on the bed, ladies, and had to like pull your jeans on and hop into them and then suck it in to button up. No, never. Okay, just me. I'm just saying, let's measure it differently. Let's go beyond the numbers. Now, I'm not saying numbers don't matter, right? You have to know like certain data and certain statistics, but I'm always that person that doesn't fit the mold. I am that 1%. I am that rare, when the doctors say, oh, in most cases, you'll be fine. It's only a 5% chance. I seem to fall in that 5% chance. I've run 2 marathons. Not a lot of people have completed. I think it's 0.01%. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And again, you can always find data and you can always find statistics to prove your point and tell your story. That's why I just don't think that we should rely on numbers alone. And I want you to think about this on this Monday or whatever day it is that you're watching and listening to this. Like, what other way can you measure? Like with eating, right? Like you can do measurings and you can track your calories. And that is just, my brain goes the opposite direction. And unless I was doing some type of competition and it was a goal with a light at the end of the tunnel and, strict parameters on it, my brain, as soon as you tell it no or don't do something, it wants to go do that thing. So I can't be told how much or how little or no this or no to that. I'm immediately going to want to bust through that box that you're trying to put me in and create my own path and make up my own rules. So we've got to look at it from a perspective of, I know I was talking about eating and measuring your food. Like, are you full or are you just bored? Is this emotional eating? Is this procrastination? Are you delaying something? Are you stressed about something? Are you even savoring the food? Are you tasting it? Are you sitting down? Are you distracted? Like all of the things on your social media. Are you looking for the likes and for engagement because you're seeking outside validation because you want people to like you? You don't think your work is good enough in itself, so you're waiting for somebody to like it and engage and share. We all do it. I'm the first one that would be like, I don't care what other people think, but I do care what other people think because I speak for a living. I write for a living. I coach for a living. I teach for a living. I want you to be impacted. So I want to know what you think. I do care what you think. It doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop if it's something that you're against. It just means I'm not for you. But I do care what you think because I want you to be moved by it. I want you to be impacted by it. I don't care if I've got 2,000 followers and nobody is being moved. That doesn't help me out. That doesn't help me get my mission across because my mission in life depends on you caring. And it depends not on the numbers, but it depends on what are you doing with the information? Are you acting on it? Are you doing your dream? Or did you quit settling in life and did you take action? Are you changing your perspectives? Are you diving back into your faith? Are you getting back into the fitness at the gym? Did you quit the job? Did you leave the bad relationship? Like, are you putting yourself first again? And that's the only number that I really care about at the end of the day is, are you putting yourself first after God? But let's just assume that. And I know a lot of the women out there are like, no, because I've got my job and I got my husband and I've got my kids and I've got my parents and I've got this and I've got that. And meanwhile, you get the leftovers and then you are resentful and then you are unhealthy mentally, emotionally, and physically and spiritually, and you are burnt out and you are exhausted. And those numbers don't lie. And so I want us to be thinking about how the importance of going beyond the surface level, beyond the accolades of I'm a top 1% podcaster. I'm a New York Times bestselling author. I have 50,000 followers. I got 300 likes or I got 20 views on that. Because at the end of the day, if you're standing in a room full of people and 3 of those people, those lives were changed. They went back to church. They were saved. They were baptized, or they lost 50 pounds because of you, and they no longer eat fast food and junk food and are off their diabetes and cholesterol medication, or they're out of the abusive, toxic relationship and they're traveling the world and they're doing the things that they've been putting off. I mean, aren't those the things that matter more? And if you only reach 3 or 4 people that are doing that, isn't that enough? Aren't those the numbers that we should be thinking about? Your success, your validation, your acknowledgement, your acceptance that you are enough, that what you're doing is impactful and influential without being a fake influencer or claiming these accolades when really they don't mean anything. The numbers lie. So be careful what you're paying attention to. My name is Robyn Tanner. This is the Daily Fight. I'll see you tomorrow.